Hello everyone, this is Daniel with Good Grow, and today I'm going to show you the products that we're going to use in our citrus transplant. First off, we have Mycos. Mycos is going to be a Glomus introdices or Rhizopogon introdices. Those are both interchangeable in terms of naming. It's going to help build that rhizosphere, so it's going to help create the rhizosphere environment, and it's going to promote the other two products we have listed right here and create a beneficial symbiotic relationship between all three and then maintain that. Our next product is going to be our Versity Bacillus blend. It's going to be a couple different Bacillus strains, but the strain we want to specifically look at is the Bacillus licheniformis, which is going to be a photosynthesis promoter, and it's also going to create a strong adaptability inside that rhizosphere to adapt to any soil conditions and environments. And because of all the Bacillus strains in there, it's also going to prevent negative bacteria from getting into that rhizosphere by replacing it with positive bacteria and then maintaining that positive bacteria. Next up, we have the Azoperillion brasiliense, a azo strain that was discovered in Brazil. It's a nitrogen fixing strain, so that means in that rhizosphere it's going to help with nitrogen transport and help get it into that root system and also to the other products we have listed here. It is also a hormone regulator, so it'll help that plant deal with transplant shock, any type of stress, any type of temperature conditions. Overall, a fantastic product to add to the other two to really build the really robust rhizosphere. And we're going to go cut on over to Mitchell, and while he does the hard work, I'll keep walking you through how we do our citrus transplant. Right now, Mitchell is covering the topsoil with a Mycos. That's going to help inoculate and provide symbiotic relationships in the soil for the citrus tree. He's going to be adding some Bacillus as well. This Bacillus is going to help inoculate that citrus tree from any problems such as other bacteria that could cause harm to the tree and fungal infections. The tree itself is going to be a Sanguinelli blood orange. It is a pre-grafted onto a US 942 TC rootstock. This rootstock is going to be a Sunki mandarin and a flying dragon trifoliate orange breeded together. This rootstock has been proven to increase yields and also helps fight common citrus infections. It also provides a dwarf variety almost of the plant. While the scion, the Sanguinelli blood orange, the actual citrus tree that we're going to be planting today, is popular in Spain and has a beautiful red tinge to it whenever it reaches maturity. Now, citrus is an evergreen plant. That means that it's going to be green all throughout the year. And it's going to produce almost the entire year. It can be trained as a hedge if you really wanted to. I know in recent years it's become popular to plant citrus hedges along people's yards to help block other people from seeing in and provides a nice little oasis for you. I know that commercial citrus does that specifically, mainly to help prevent overgrowth and be more efficient when it comes to growing the citrus. Right now, Mitchell is digging a hole to put the tree in. Usually you want to go for a square hole. This helps prevent any form of roots getting stuck inside. Example, if you had a pot, you're going to get root bound. This will help prevent root bound if you dig it into a square hole. This square hole will, at the corners, allow for roots a much easier passage than if it was a circle. I always recommend square holes for transplanting trees, mainly due to the fact that they do not respond well to root bound, and it's very difficult for them to deal with it later on in life, especially when they've already been transplanted. Now, the soil he's transplanted into, as you see, is pretty heavy in perlite and cocoa coir. A airy, well-drained soil is always good for citrus. If you have a clay soil, that is fine. Just water it less and try to break up that clay a little bit when you transplant into that clay. Right now he is preparing for the transplant. What he is going to do is break apart the roots that are currently bound to the side of the plant, and is going to do that with his hands just by doing a slight crushing motion almost. This will help loosen up the roots that are stuck to the side of the pot and help allow you to easily take the plant out without causing damage to it. Now, if you ever feel any resistance, do not be afraid to redo the crush like he's doing here, and make sure that you don't just rip it out, because that'll cause more harm to the plant. Whenever you transplant a tree, you want to avoid transplant shock as much as possible. And to do that, doing all these methods, even if it takes more time, is definitely going to help protect your citrus into growing into a nice, mature citrus tree. Once he has it taken out, you notice that because it's been grown in a pot, it's very root bound. When you run into a root bound tree, it is fine. What you would do is you want to crush up the bottom near the root bound to allow those roots to start growing out into the pot you're putting them into. He is doing that right now. Just a light crush like that with your hands and break it apart. You can do a little bit more aggressive in terms of ripping and tearing, but keep it to a minimum. After he has done this, he's going to spread what we call a beneficial microbe known as azose. This product is going to really help prevent transplant shock. As you see, this tree is getting manhandled, and trees don't like that. So preventing that transplant shock is pivotal to the success of the plant. When you apply azose, you usually, even though it's a wettable powder, want to apply it directly to the root system. And one of the best times to do that is when you are transplanting. He's just going to pour it over the roots and then rub it in, almost like a massage, into the plant system. This is going to allow for a more direct ability to get the best bang for your buck in terms of applying this product. Now, you can apply it through a water-based method, such as adding it to a watering can and then watering it into the soil, but the best method to apply this is directly to the root system itself. So using this whenever you're transplanting or whenever you're about to start a plant is best. Now, right now he's refilling the hole. With citrus, you don't really want to expose too many roots, but you can. And you want to prevent mounding at the top as much as possible. Just don't go above the previous line set in the transplanted pot, mainly due to the fact that citrus is very susceptible to stem rot, and stem rot is not good. Especially don't go above the graft line in citrus. The graft line will be pretty obvious in terms of you'll see dead or healed wood around a certain area. Whenever you're also placing your citrus, make sure that you're placing the grafted area away from sunlight to help prevent any further damage to the grafting site, as that grafting site is extremely important to maintain a healthy relationship with. And finally, what we're going to do when we transplant is we're going to water. Make sure you water pretty heavily. Watering after transplant is extremely important to maintain the health of the plant. Even if your soil is already wet, it's very good to water it again. And then for about 3 months, it's good to water every week unless you're dealing with heavy rain.